If there was any more proof you needed that the WNBA was not, and I mean not, ready to add new teams to this league, well, these two expansion teams are very, very, very short on talent.
If there was any more proof needed that the WNBA rushed these expansion teams, just look at those rosters, because what we're seeing right now is a talent crisis that's going to create easy wins for established teams like Indiana, and the Fever just dodged a major bullet in this expansion draft. But they also lost someone fans absolutely loved.
Let's start here, and this hurts us. A fan favorite, a lot of people, the Red Rocket, Red Fox. Chloe Bibby came in here, flamethrower, hitting threes. Oh yeah, we like that. A perfect teammate for Caitlin Clark. Someone who can space the floor, spot up, not scared to shoot. Oh yeah, we liked Chloe Bibby a lot over here.
Chloe Peterson, the Red Rocket, is gone, drafted by Portland in the expansion draft. And Fever fans are not happy about it. This is a player who fit perfectly next to Caitlin Clark. A three-point specialist who wasn't afraid to shoot, could space the floor, and had genuine chemistry with the team's franchise player. But Indiana didn't protect her, they didn't core her. And there's a specific reason why. Peterson's knees have been a concern all season. She was listed as ready, then not ready, then game time decision, then completely disappeared from the rotation during the playoff push. When you're deciding whether to use one of your core player designations on someone with that kind of injury uncertainty, the math changes. It's not just about talent, it's about durability and long-term investment.
This is gonna hurt. Yeah, we can never keep the good players who fit in with Caitlin Clark. That goes against what the Fever want to do. Sad to see Chloe go, but very cool opportunity for her, and I'll be rooting for her. Now with Chloe Bibby, you know, amongst many things why the Indiana Fever didn't core Chloe Bibby, there's something going on with her knees. There's something going on with her knees. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but she was ready to go, then she's not ready to go. She's game time decision, then she never sees the court the rest of the season.
Look at how fans are processing this loss. The frustration isn't just about losing Peterson, it's about a pattern. Last year it was Temi Fagbenle in free agency. This year it's Chloe Peterson in the expansion draft. Fever fans keep watching pieces that actually fit around Caitlin Clark get pulled away from the roster, and there's this growing anxiety that Indiana's front office doesn't understand what they have or how to protect it. But here's what fans might be missing. The Fever protected Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and obviously Caitlin Clark. Those 5 players represent the actual core of what Indiana is building. Peterson was a nice complementary piece, but she wasn't essential to the foundation.
Why do these fucking teams keep taking our pieces that actually fit our team? Last year it was Temi, now this. Best of luck to Chloe. I knew that was gonna happen, damn. Now get rid of the horrible coach that thinks Mitchell is the team's top priority. Damn. Had to throw in a shot. Good luck on your new team. Thank you, Chloe Bibby. Yep, a lot of people sending their thanks, appreciation, and not happy that Chloe Bibby's leaving in her short stint with the Indiana Fever. Very quickly, fans said, yeah, I'm a Chloe Bibby fan. I'm a supporter of Chloe.
Now let's talk about what these expansion rosters actually look like, because this is where it gets concerning for the league. Toronto Tempo selected Julie Alamand as their point guard. She's solid, capable, but she's a backup level talent starting for an expansion team. Nayara Sabali provides some size. Marina Mabre is probably their best player, and Connecticut didn't even protect her. Think about that. The Sun looked at their roster and said Marina Mabre isn't worth protecting. That tells you everything about how Connecticut views her value. The rest of Toronto's roster includes Aaliyah Nye, Lexi Held, Maria Conde. These are developmental players and end-of-bench pieces trying to form a competitive rotation. Compare this to last year's Golden State Valkyries expansion draft, where they at least landed Veronica Burton and Kaylin Thornton. Toronto's roster looks significantly weaker.
Toronto Tempo. You got Julia Alamand. She's nice. Not a starting point guard to back up, but she's nice. She's nice. She can start on a few teams. Not my team. But she could start on a few teams. All right. Maybe not just a backup, but okay. She's good enough. Nayara Sabali. Marina Mabrey. Marina Mabrey didn't get cored by the Toronto Tempo, by the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut's going to Houston next year. Well, Connecticut doesn't give a damn. All right, Marina, go. Yeah, we don't care. Aaliyah Nye, the science guy. Lexi Held, Maria Kond, Maria Klinikova, Aja Kane, Nikolina Milic, Kitja Laxka, and Christy Wallace.
Portland Fire went a different direction. They selected Bridget Carleton first overall. Now, Bridget is a solid role player on Minnesota, but she's the 4th or 5th option behind Nafisa Collier, Kaylin McBride, and Alana Smith. Making her your first pick in an expansion draft signals exactly how thin the available talent pool was. They also grabbed Carla Lottie from Golden State, which is surprising because the Valkyries could have protected her, but chose Burton, Thornton, and Caitlin Chen instead. Emily Engsler provides some defensive versatility. Chloe Peterson gives them shooting if her knees hold up. Haley Jones has legitimate potential, but this roster has a glaring weakness. Nika Moole, their point guard, is out for the entire season with her 2nd torn ACL.
The first pick. Bridget Carleton was the first pick in this. Carla Leite. I like Carla Leite from the Golden State Valkyries. I'm surprised the Golden State Valkyries didn't court Carla Leite, to be honest with you. Who can they court? Burton? Thornton? Saloon? Not Carla Leite? That's interesting. Maybe they courted Caitlin Chen. Louisa Gieselsolder, Emily Engsler, Maya Caldwell, Chloe Bibby, Haley Jones, Sarah Ashley Barker, Sug Sutton, Nika Mule out for the season because
And fans noticed immediately. The comments about Nika Moole are brutal, but they reveal a harsh truth about expansion drafts. Portland used a pick on a player who cannot contribute for an entire season. Some are calling it admirable, taking a chance on her potential. Others are calling it a wasted pick, a sympathy selection that doesn't help them compete in year 1. When you're building an expansion roster from scratch, every pick matters. You cannot afford to draft someone who won't play. The reality is Portland had limited options. The talent available in this expansion draft was significantly worse than what Golden State had access to last year. And that's a direct result of the league expanding too quickly without enough depth in the player pool.
Lakers logo, taking Nika, the walking ACL injury is admirable. Damn, Trent Harvey, you had her do her like that. You had to do Nika Mule like that. Crazy work to take Nika. Her potential isn't that high at this point. She had a tough rookie season followed by 2 season-ending Oh, wow, you're saying it's a participation trophy. Ow, a sympathy draft pick. Damn, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. Barker is an amazing pick in college. She was really good. As expected, Mystics protected.
Back to Indiana for a moment. The Fever are sitting in an incredibly advantageous position right now. They kept their 5 core players together. They have 4 games against Toronto and 4 games against Portland next season. Those are 8 very winnable games that could be the difference between a playoff spot and missing the postseason. But this is also the moment where Indiana's front office needs to prove they're serious about building around Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham is an unrestricted free agent. Lexi Hull is a restricted free agent. The Fever need to bring both of them back, and they need to do it quickly before other teams start making offers.
They didn't even protect Marina. Damn, Marina thought she was about to be a comet. Take your girl with you. We trying to clean house for the H. Damn. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Indiana Fever, now's your time to prove that you guys are legit. Now's your time to prove that you're serious. You bring back those 5 and you go get some other pieces to put around CC. Some spot-up shooters, some 3-and-D players, some toughness, another enforcer. Do that. We're now a weekish away from free agency. We're a few days away to where you can start sending qualifying offers to the restricted.
Here's what Indiana should be doing right now. First, extend qualifying offers to Lexi Hull immediately when the window opens. She's a restricted free agent, which means Indiana can match any offer she receives. Don't let her test the market. Lock her in early with a fair contract that keeps her happy. Second, negotiate with Sophie Cunningham's agent before free agency officially begins. She's unrestricted, which means she can sign anywhere. If another team offers her more money or a bigger role, Indiana could lose her. The Fever need to make her feel valued and prioritize bringing her back. Third, identify the remaining roster needs. Indiana needs another 3-and-D wing player. They need a true enforcer who can set physical screens and protect Caitlin Clark. They need depth at the 4 position behind Aaliyah Boston. These aren't luxury additions. These are necessities if Indiana wants to compete with New York, Las Vegas, and Minnesota. So let's put this expansion draft in context. The WNBA added 2 teams when the talent pool couldn't support it. We now have Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire fielding rosters that would struggle to beat college teams. And that's not hyperbole. Look at those lineups. Marina Mabrey leading a team of developmental players, Bridget Carleton as your franchise cornerstone. These are teams that will win maybe 10 games next season if they're lucky. But for Indiana, this is an opportunity. 8 games against expansion teams, a core 5 that stayed together, and a front office that finally has a chance to prove they understand what they have in Caitlin Clark. The question is whether Kelly Krauskopf and the Fever management will actually capitalize on this moment, because here's what happens if they don't. If Sophie Cunningham walks in free agency because Indiana lowballed her, fans will riot. If Lexi Hull gets a big offer from another team and Indiana refuses to match it, the backlash will be severe. If they fail to add the right complementary pieces around Caitlin, they'll waste another year of her rookie contract while other teams get better. The blueprint is right there. Look at what New York did building around Sabrina Ionescu. Look at what Las Vegas did constructing a championship core around Aja Wilson. You identify your franchise player, you surround them with shooters and defenders who fit their style, and you pay to keep that core together. It's not complicated, but it requires a front office willing to spend money and make tough decisions. Indiana has the roster foundation. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent who can create offense for herself and everyone around her. Aaliyah Boston is developing into a legitimate two-way force in the paint. Kelsey Mitchell provides veteran scoring and playoff experience. Lexi Hull shot 48% from 3 after the Olympic break. Sophie Cunningham brings toughness and leadership. That's a playoff core if you add the right pieces around it. What Indiana cannot do is stand pat. They cannot assume this roster is good enough. They cannot nickel and dime their way through free agency while other teams are aggressively improving. Because while the Fever are playing it safe, New York is retaining Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. Las Vegas is keeping their championship core together. Minnesota has Nafiessa Collier locked up long-term. Connecticut is moving to Houston and will reload. The competition is not sitting still, and here's the uncomfortable truth that Fever fans need to hear. Caitlin Clark's rookie contract is 4 years. That sounds like a long time, but it's not. Year 1 is done. She made the playoffs, broke viewership records, and proved she's everything advertised. Year 2 is next season, where expectations will be even higher. By year 3, if Indiana hasn't built a championship contender around her, the national media will start asking whether she should leave in free agency. By year 4, if they haven't won a title or at least made the finals, Caitlin will have legitimate options to go elsewhere. The window is now. Not next year, not in 2 years, right now. This offseason is when Indiana proves whether they're a serious franchise or just lucky to have drafted a generational talent. And losing Chloe Peterson in the expansion draft, while understandable from an injury perspective, cannot become a pattern of letting good players walk away. So what should Fever fans be watching for in the next few weeks? First, does Indiana extend qualifying offers to their restricted free agents on time? That's the first test. Second, do they sign Sophie Cunningham before she hits the open market? That's the second test. Third, do they make any moves to add a veteran 3-and-D wing or a physical enforcer? That's the third test. If they pass all 3 tests, Indiana is serious. If they fail any of them, fans have every right to question whether this front office understands the urgency of the moment. The expansion draft exposed how thin the WNBA's talent pool really is. It created easy wins for established teams, and it gave Indiana a gift-wrapped opportunity to rack up victories against Toronto and Portland next season. But opportunity only matters if you're prepared to seize it. The Fever have the foundation. They have the franchise player. They have 8 games against expansion teams that should be automatic wins. Now they need to prove they have the front office competence to finish the job. Because if they don't, those expansion teams won't stay bad forever. Portland will eventually get Nika Moole healthy. Toronto will develop their young players. And the window that looks wide open right now will start to close. So the question for Indiana isn't whether they can compete next season. The question is whether they'll do what's necessary to maximize Caitlin Clark's prime years before it's too late. Let me know what you think Indiana should do this offseason. Should they prioritize bringing back Sophie Cunningham? Do they need to add another star player through trade? And how many games do you think Toronto and Portland will actually win next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is going to be a fascinating offseason to watch.